Hi, I'm Sir Classy, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to mix this song from start to finish. I've not set the tempo, I've not renamed the songs, so this is a free tutorial. If you're watching it on Udemy or on YouTube, this is completely free, and I'm going to show you my process from start to finish. I'm going to show you how I rename the tracks appropriately, because as you can see, they're not well named. Some of it seem to be well named, but a lot of it are just like copy audio, like they're not well named. And I'm going to show you how I do the linking to the mixer, processing, and possibly the mastering stage. I'm even yet to set the tempo, so I'll show you how I find the tempo in FL Studio and how I add my effects and how we get the whole thing done. So let's get started, shall we? So pardon me, this video will be largely unedited, but at the same time it's packed with quality, so please pardon some of my bloopers that we're going to have, if any at all. So let's get started. So we'll listen to the song and then we'll see how it sounds, then we'll talk about it. Let's listen.
I don't want to lose weight. I see Auntie at the try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. Do I stand well? I go shoot a marking. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when shit is all over. Want to make my wife.
Makes sense, not the ganga.
Alright, so that's pretty much the song. It's just a 1-minute cover. The original song was by LAX. It's an Afrobeat artist. Lose My Mind, that is the name of the song. So this song was covered by an artist called Hakinola, an amazing artist by the way. And the beat was reproduced by an amazing producer as well, by Make Sense. Now the beat is unmixed, obviously. So this is a very common scenario we get, especially as a mixing engineer. An artist brings in a beat that is, maybe they buy it online or from a producer that doesn't know how to mix properly, and then you have to mix the vocals on it to sound great. So I'm going to show you the start to end process, completely raw, completely unrefined, just raw process, my raw process on how I get this done. So let's start with finding the tempo before we even link it to the mixer, or before we even rename it accordingly. So what I typically do is I simply double click the beat, I right click the text tempo. Let's try 75 to 150. So it's about 108 BPM. So we'll listen to it. If it matches, then we'll stick with it. So we'll turn on the metronome and we'll listen.
My shot, but you make it so high. Do I stand well?
Alright, that sounds perfect. If it's, when you play the metronome, you hear it in the beginning and somewhere in the middle to make sure it stays the same. So it's the same. There are many ways to find tempo, by the way, in FL Studio. You can also use the tap method, but I'm not really good with that. I just stick with the method I just showed you, and if that works, fine. If it doesn't work, I play around with it a little bit. I also use the tap keys, but I rarely do use it because this is most times correct. Alright, so we found the tempo is about 108.22.022 BPM. Alright, that's fine. So let's name it properly in the mixer. This is the beats. I'll rename it to beat. And I think I already named it here lead vox. So okay, so let's name it. Let's stick with real world style. So lead vox, then intro. So you just right click, intro, rename. It's already pretty well named actually, but I think this seems more pleasing, like it's easier to navigate that way. So main punch, I think main punch. All right, main punch. What else? Okay, drop FX. The artist, remember the artist telling me that he wanted like a drop down effect there, so both on the vocal and on the beat, or whichever sounds nice. So this is just kind of like a reminder to get that done. Drop FX. We've done all the way here. Main punch. I think we've done main punch. Yes, we have. So I think secondary punch is next. I don't know if there's an A in secondary, but yeah, it is what it is. Punch. All right, I think it's another secondary punch. So I'll just name it punch 2, secondary punch 2. All right. Harmonies. I'll just name it harmony 1, HRM 1. This will be HRM2. HRM2. Is that accurate? Oh no, that's not accurate. My bad. That's HRM1. This will be HRM2. I'll use this. Maybe HRM here. HRM1 then 10, 11. All right, I think the harmonies are linked already. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think they are linked already. So I think I can take this off. I think they are all linked already. This, with your Control Shift, you can select multiple clips on the mixer, or multiple channels on the mixer rather. Then I'll just go to reset selected tracks to default. Yes, so we don't need those here. So yeah, so this is what we'll be working on mostly. So what we'll do is we'll start with the lead vocal. So select a region, let's say here for the lead vocal. Then we'll come here. Let me maximize this. Let me make this really big. I think it's a way to make this bigger. Okay, I think this is as big as it can get. I really don't like this view. Well, let's work with it like this and see how far we can go with this view. So with the lead vocal, we'll turn the others off, turn this off. We turn the punches, the intro, the drop FX, just the beat and the lead vocal. This is the lead vocal here. So let's listen.
Young T, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. Just stand well, I go shoot a marking. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. Young T.
Alright, so that's the region we're focusing on for the lead vocal. So we'll start with the EQ. And then we'll try and take out the nasal frequencies.
a young T, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever.
So what I did with this EQ was I just sweep across the low frequency band a little to somewhere around here to take out the low end and the rumbling in the low end. Then I did this to pick out the nasal frequencies, and also the vocal will sound a bit rather sharp, so this is just to dull it a little. So that's why I just did here primarily with the EQ. So now add a compressor. I'll be using mostly stock plugins for the basic things like EQ, compression, reverb, and delay. So let's try some compressor. Typically I like to try from around, let's say, -20 something. I like to keep my attack fast and keep my release fairly slow. 400 milliseconds isn't that fast. Then of course my ratio like around 4.5 to 5. So let's try 4.5, around 4.5, and see. Let's listen and see how it sounds.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever.
If you can hear it, it sounds over compressed, so I think that's too much. So I'll reduce the threshold and let's listen again.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win you.
Alright, that sounds fine. That sounds more natural. Let me take this to, let's say, around 3 milliseconds. If I can get to 3 milliseconds, that's the attack. So just make it sound more natural. Alright, this is fine. This is fine. Also know that I have full-length courses that explain these things in detail on Udemy. So you can check the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, check the link in the description below for links to the courses where I explain these things in detail. And also, if you're on Udemy, you can just check my instructor page and you see my list of courses there. I teach mixing, mastering, how to make beats, everything in great detail, so you can learn a lot. But this is just kind of like to show you my process. It's a free course to show you how my process, how I get things done. So this compressor is nice, it's nice already. So let's do some leveling with the lead vocal before we add things like delay, if need be, reverb, and other special effects, maybe saturation as well.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart.
Alright, so let me try a little delay and see if it's going to be nice. I'll try a ping pong delay because of the way it bounces, hence the name ping pong. So I'll try, sorry, I have to reset the offsets. I don't want it to offset. Let's say I'll try 2 milliseconds and reduce the amount of the delay sound effects and reduce the feedback volume and of course the cuts. So let's listen and see how it sounds.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so hard. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed dodge forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know.
All right, that sounds nice. I love the way it bounces and it's just kind of like in the background there. So let me take the beat off and listen. So you listen to it.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart.
So yeah, the feedback is not much and the delay effect also is not too obvious. It's just in the background, adding some bounce to the vocal with the beats.
As a young G, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart.
So we add auto-tune. So the way I typically get the key for the auto, there's so many ways to get the key for a song for auto-tune. You can try the trial by clicking different keys here until you see which works. But I have an app on my phone. I think it's available for Android also. It's called AI. So it listens to a song and tells you the key of the song. So let me just grab my phone. So the app's just listening. I have a tutorial on that on my YouTube channel. So the app just listens to, it's called AI. It listens to the beats and it tells you the key and even the chord progression. So I'm going to allow my phone listen to it right now while it tells me the key of the song. Alright, so let's see, the key is saying E flat. So I think it's saying the key is E flat. So let's see auto-tune if that's correct. We select E flat major. So take it, the retune speed will be fast. And yeah, so let's listen and see if it's accurate.
I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young T, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. As a young T, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so high. You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I.
Alright, that sounds correct. That sounds correct. So I was even supposed to have the auto-tune first on my signal chain, so I can just roll it over here on my signal chain. The auto-tune first, followed by the compressor. Sorry, followed by the EQ, followed by compressor, then delay. So the reason why I have my auto-tune first is I don't want it to confuse maybe the delay or the reverb coming in for other tunes or notes. So I want it to have the raw unprocessed vocal as the raw tone coming into the auto-tune. So the auto-tune sends the processed pitch corrected vocals through the rest of the chain. So that's why I have it there. So next I can add maybe a delay, a reverb, a little reverb. No, I will not add a reverb yet. Let's see the tracks if there are other things that, okay, this is the only lead vocal here, so I can't add a reverb on it directly. So I'll add a reverb here. Reverb, where's my reverb? Okay, yes, come to my reverb here. So let me add a little reverb and see how it sounds. And I'm going to, of course, my low chord, since this is a vocal track, I want my low cut to be around 500 hertz. Like, you start working from around 500 hertz and up to, let's leave it at, let's say 4 kilohertz, around 4 kilohertz. Make the room size really wide. Of course, we want a little pre-delay so that the reverb doesn't wash the vocals up completely. We want some of the vocals to sound raw up front, then have the reverb tail delaying a little. Well, just this one we're listening, but this is just like my common settings I have. Then decay, we have the decay to about, let's say 1.5 seconds around there. Take out the bars. If yours has the bars, take it out. And yeah, so let's listen and see. Yeah, reduce the wet to about 30%, and let's listen and see how it sounds.
See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I just stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I just stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your.
Alright, that sounds really nice. I like that. I just said the wetness by about few percent to about 33%. Pardon me. Yeah. So now this settings vary depending on the vocal texture, the artist, and the style of music. But commonly this is the settings I use for most vocals, especially in a singer in Afrobeat. It may be different from that type of artist, from that type of sound, or that style of music, but this is my go-to settings. Now you see how the reverb keeps it up front but doesn't wash it to make it sound too thin or too give it too much ambience, just up front and sweet at the same time. So that's typically what I go for when mixing my lead vocals with reverb. So most times I add a saturation plugin to my vocals to make it pop, but right now I won't do that because I'm going to add a special effect later to my entire vocal chain. So I'm going to leave that running for now. So let's go to the backup, the main punch, which is I think the most recurring vocal before the harmonies. So let's listen to that and see how it sounds.
See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot.
Alright, so that's how it sounds. What we'll do is we'll do the gain staging, EQ, compression, panning. We'll have to pan it. I'll say slightly to the right, not too far. Let's say less than 20% of the right. Then we'll add EQ. I know EQ the backup is different from the way we EQ the lead vocal. We'll just do this, sweep it across, so the frequencies not collide with the main vocal. So it should sound like it's complementing instead of fighting it. Add a little bit of air and shine to it. Of course, add a compressor to tame it. Where is my compressor? Dynamics. Alright, so somewhere around here will be fine since it's a backup vocal. The ratio around 4 is fine. We can have the release around 400 as well. So let's listen and let's take down the attack to about, let's say 5 milliseconds. See how it sounds, and then we'll know what else to do.
See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed us forever. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again.
Alright, that's fine. You know, because it's a backup vocal, so it's not as loud as the lead vocal, so the threshold how to really go further than it would for a lead vocal. So we started at about 20 for the threshold, so we took it all the way down to about -40, that's -40. so I can really go down there and work on it, you know, because the backup is not as loud as the lead vocal. And also I adjusted the gain to compensate for the loss of loudness. Just added about 6 dB because it really took a chunk out of it, because there was high dynamic range. That is, between the loudest and the most quiet parts, there was significant difference there. So we had to take the threshold further down to clamp it down, and of course compensate for that loss of loudness with this gain here. So let's move on. Let's listen again and see if we need to add maybe a reverb, or okay, yeah, we need auto-tune. I keep forgetting about the auto-tune. Well, I don't forget, but it's supposed to always come first in my signal chain, but I'm always so eager to get the compressor and the EQ done. So I have a full tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to use the auto-tune plugin. Also explained in my vocal mixing course, I explained in full details how to use auto-tune. So I think the key was E flat major. So we'll take this all the way down here and listen.
See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot a marking. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot a marking.
Alright, so now add reverb. Now the reverb for the backup vocal will be more noticeable. It will not be as chilled or as relaxed as lead vocal. So add a lot of reverb. And yeah, of course the high cuts will be, let's say, about 5 kilohertz. We'll add about 1 kilohertz extra. So we take out the bars, always take out the bars, always increase the size. We won't touch the delay. We don't want the effect to come and attack it at once. We don't want to delay the reverb effect. So let's boost it to about, let's say, 60 and see how it sounds. Also increase the decay to about 2.5 and see how it sounds.
See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot a marking. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot a marking. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. See, auntie, I did try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand when I go shoot a marking. You know, feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart.
Alright, that sounds fine for now. We can always come back to the settings as time goes on, but for now that sounds fine for the backup vocal. So I think there's another secondary punch. Okay, I don't think there was any information. Let's see if there's any no information. Alright, I think the secondary punch, and okay, this secondary punch here, but it came in the harmony, so we can't mix that in until we get the harmony sorted out. So let's see the intro. Alright, let's see how the intro sounds like.
Eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, oh, eloni mata.
Makes sense.
Alright, so the lead vocal, the intro has the same character with the lead vocal, so we just copy the effects that we had in the lead vocal by simply doing this. Come to file, come to save mixer track status, then hold down your left click and drag it to intro, then just rename it to intro. I don't know why it overrides the name of the track, but you save it to intro. So let's listen to it and see how it sounds.
Eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata.
So we need to increase the reverb a little. Since it's the intro, we need a little bit of reverb. Let's say about 45, 50, somewhere around there, and listen.
Eloni mata, 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 Eloni mata.
All right, so what I just did was increase the high chords to get more of that to about 5.6 kilohertz to get more of that high shine tone out of it, and increase the wetness and increase the decay to about 2.3 seconds, and the wetness is around 50% to get more of it out. I can also spread the reverb to get a more interesting feel. Just spread it a little and see how it sounds.
Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata.
Yeah, so that made it sound more it spread the reverb just a little bit more because I didn't have too much, just a little, so it made the reverb sound a little bit heavier, like fill up the ambience, make it feel like more of an ambient sound, just a little in the high end region. So that's not necessary for it to do, especially if I just getting started, but sometimes I add, especially for backups and harmonies, when I group my harmonies into a single channel, I like spreading the reverb out. So I think for now the intro is set. We can always come back if we go far, because you might go far in the mix and come back and be like, this is not sitting properly. So for now it's fine. Alright, so let's see this sound here. Since we already have the intro vocals here, so we can work on the secondary punch. Now let's listen and see how it sounds.
Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Alright, so this secondary was actually part of the harmonies. So it wasn't named properly during recording, so I just named maybe harmony, HRM, maybe 0. Alright, so apparently we do not have a secondary harmony. So what we'll do with these harmonies, we'll group all of them into an empty mixer track routing, create submix, we name it harmonies. So what we'll do here is we'll add things like sorry about that. Okay, what's this? No, we don't want this. Resets. This is all we need. You can see you see everything here is linked to this guy here. So we can maybe change the color so it can stand out some, or maybe we'll make it red. Alright, so you can see everything here is linked to this guy. So you can always unlink it by simply clicking this and maybe take it back to the master channel if you want, or any other channel for that. So I think this is fine. So what we just do is we'll add a compressor on this channel. We'll add a compressor, an EQ, and auto tune to get everything done properly. But we'll do the panning individually. We'll pan everything individually. But first we need to add a compressor. So we'll come to a compressor, dynamics. Remember I said since they are more of the background, so the threshold needs to work a bit harder. We'll come to the attack. Yeah, that's fine. Boost it, let's say. I want the attack to, since it's a harmony, I want it to really have that sustenance. I want the release to be slow. Let's say around 700, and keep the ratio around 4.6 or less than 5. So let's not add for gain compensation. Let's see how it sounds.
Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata.
Alright. Alright, I think the threshold is working too hard. Let's bring all the way here, then maybe add a gain compensation and listen. Alright, that's more like it. So we'll add EQ now. We'll just take some of the remember I said in backups, you take out some of the low end to avoid collision. We'll take this out, boost a little in the high end to give it some shine, and let's listen. And now we add our auto tune. Of course, this artist, assuming this artist had a wider vocal range, would have maybe had an auto tune settings for different parts of the vocal, but the artist mostly stuck within the low vocal register, so he didn't really go up to maybe soprano per se, and it wasn't really in the alto region per se, so the low mid voice simply just covers it off for this particular artist. But when you have an artist that has a wider vocal range, maybe plays between the high notes and the low notes consistently, you need a separate auto tune settings for each of these for each of the vocal parts that the artist took. Remember, I have a comprehensive course on mixing and using auto-tune on my Udemy page. I also have some free tutorials on my YouTube page. Follow me at Sir Classy on YouTube, on Instagram, Sir_Classy. I have some tutorials on my Instagram TV. So yeah, so let's see how it sounds with auto-tune now. Alright, so the EQ took away some of the life in the bars backup, so I'll ease up on the auto-tune I'll ease up on the EQ a little. So let's listen and see how it sounds now. Alright, so let's pan them now appropriately. So now the lowest or the deepest vocal register will be in the center, while others are scattered around. So I think here we have about 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to have like 2 on the left, 2 on the right. But since we already have the lowest vocal, so what we just do, we'll pan it slightly to the left or right, and maybe the next lowest one slightly to the left or right, then the others will be wider apart. So let's see how that goes. So we'll listen to it individually and see which is which. Let me bring the cursor closer to here and see which is which. Starting from harmony 0. Alright, so harmony 0 and harmony 2 seem to have closest vocal range. So what I'll just do is I'll pan them slightly in close to the middle, since they are both low vocals, maybe less than 10% though, less than 10%. Then others can go wider, maybe less than 20% for a start. You can adjust them separately. They don't have to match each other in terms of the pan in opposite direction, just till it sounds good enough. So let's listen and see. Alright. Alright, that sounds okay. That sounds okay. So there's a special effect I would like to add. It's called a harmony engine by Antares. So we just select the key. I also have an extensive tutorial on this bad boy. So we just select this scale interval. Alright, major scale. So I want it to be very natural. So we'll listen to it and see how it sounds before. Okay, vocal range, baritone bars, yes. Alright, so we'll listen to it and see how it sounds before we do anything else to the plugin. Alright, so now we're going to modify it. Let's modify this plugin. So we just take out some vocal parts. Alright, now I took out some vocal parts. You can always change the vocal parts by the intervals by having different parts here. So for this vocal, what I just did, I took away the lowest note and the highest note and boost the original inputs coming in so that it can be more accurate in reading the vocal parts of the song. So you don't need to overwork this plugin most times. It just do a little here and there and it works out fine. You can even increase the number of voices. Let's try maybe 8 voices and see how it sounds. And I'll do the before and after for you. Let's see. Alright, so that's after. Let's listen to the before. Now listen to the after. Now that sounds more alive, don't you think so? For the harmonies. So I'll just reduce the volume a little here, and then let's play it in line with the rest of the vocal tracks.
I don't want to.
So what I'll do next, I'm going to add a delay plugin. Oh, sorry, not this is the old FL Studio delay. I prefer this delay plugin. So I want it to be in ping pong mode so I can really bounce off and spread. And yes, in ping pong mode, and the time, let's say, keep the time at, let's say, 4 milliseconds. Let's reduce the inputs here. Yeah, so let's listen to it now, see how it sounds.
I don't want to win until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
I don't want to lose weight. I see young T, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot a marking. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no.
Alright, that sounds amazing, doesn't it? So of course we need to tone it down a little and add reverb to it. Reverb will make it sound even more interesting. So increase the size. So let's listen to it now with just this reverb setting without doing too much. Of course, take out the bass, and the decay should be extensive, about 2 seconds. So let's listen to it now and see.
Until I win your heart, until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Alright, so I played around with the reverb some more. I toned down the high cut. I took it down to about 4 kilohertz, the high cut, and the delay, added some pre-delay. I felt like the effect was too sudden on the vocal, on the harmony vocal chain. So I took it to about 88 milliseconds. And of course, the decay, I also toned it down to about 1.7 milliseconds, and the wetness was also reduced. I can reduce it, I think, let's put it at, let's say 30%. Should be fair. So I want it to sound big and large, but at the same time I don't want it to sound washed up in the reverb, because that's how to tell an amateur mix. See, most times an amateur mix sounds washed up and too all over the place with reverb. So when you want the reverb to sound controlled, you want the reverb to really sound controlled in the mix. So let's listen to it again and see how it sounds.
I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, oh no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Makes sense, not
Alright, so I did some more gain staging. I toned down the harmonies some more, and I think I'm going to take the beats, increase the beats a little bit more so that it can sit properly. So you can see we're doing some back and forth here and there to make it sound even better. So let me take the beats here some more to about, let's say, -1 dB and see how it sounds.
Just stand well, I go shoot a marking. You know feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
makes sense, not the ganga.
Eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata, eloni mata. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie at the crash with my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot a marking. You know feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Makes sense, not the ganga.
Alright, so that was just me listening to the entire mix again to see and make sure it sounds even across the board. So I think the main lead vocal can make do with just a little bit of reverb, just a little bit more. I think I can just increase the wetness to, let's say, 42%. So let's listen again and see how it sounds.
But you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot a marking. You know feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, no. I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Makes sense, not the ganga.
Alright, that sounds good across the board. So now time for that special effect I was talking about. Oh, I remember we also supposed to also have a drop effect for this guy. And I think these two. So let's listen to it and see.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie at the crash with my.
So this will just have the same effects with the. So this will just have the same effects with the lead vocal. So we'll go to the lead vocal. Remember, when you have vocals with the same character or characteristics, instead of like going over it again, you just save yourself time by copying it. So I think this is it. I think, what was the name of it? Okay, well, it didn't have a name, so let's say pre-lead, because it came before the lead vox. So let's say pre-lead vox. That should be the name. So let's listen to now see how it sounds.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie at the crash with my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot a marking. You know feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your.
If you notice, I didn't do much gain staging in the mixer. That's because while recording, I recorded with a compressor and I did a lot of gain staging while recording. So like it was kind of like a little bit pre-mixed while recording. So I recorded through a mixer, the breather, the esser to get all those noise and everything under control before mixing. So that's typically how I record vocals in the studio. So yeah, that's why it looks kind of perfect. I'm not but in the compressor, when I open the compressor, you can see I have a lot going on in the compressor with the like this didn't have a gain staging, but some others do have gain staging in them. Let's see, this has some gain stage about 6 dB, you understand? So instead of boosting it here all the way up to 6 dB, no, you don't cross 0. Either you reduce or you use your compressor or a gain plugin to increase the overall loudness of it. So yeah, so coming back to, before we add the drop down effects, there's a special effect I want to add. And to get that done, we select our group tracks, our main lead, Control Shift, harmony stem, our harmony group, our main, I think the harmonies, let's see, the harmony links, it's not linked, this is not linked, this is not linked. Let's look for vocals that are not linked. These are not linked, but these are linked. So from here up to here, here, and this guy, they will all be linked to I'll just name it Vox group. You can see change the color. I don't know why FL Studio just does that. So I'll change the color now. Say maybe this color so I can stand out. And what I'll do is there's a nice, I have many nice plugins by the way, but a special one I like adding. Excuse me. It's by Waves. So we'll come to the shell and we'll pick it out. It's a vocal plugin. It's actually more organized in Cubase than in FL. So let's see if we can find it here. If it's not here, we'll check the other shell plugins. Let's see. Okay, I don't think it's here. I don't think it's here. So let's check. We'll replace it with shell 2. Also not here. We'll replace it with shell 3. I mostly use it in Cubase. So I'm not familiar with its location in FL Studio here. Okay. Then I think shell 4. Let's see shell 4. I have a feeling it will be here. Let's see. Vocal. Really believe I totally forgot. I haven't forgotten the name of the plugin because like I always know where it is in okay. Let's see. 6. Shell 6. Shell 6 is the lucky number. No, shell 6 is not the lucky number. Shell 7. Shell 7 the lucky number. I think I missed it, one of the earlier plugins. Let's check back at shell 3. Let's see, shell 3. Let's see, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of this plugin. Pardon me for the time. I'm trying to remember it myself as well, because it's such an amazing plugin. I think the name is Botch Vig or so. Let's see. Botch Vig. A B Botch. Let's see. Alright, if he's not here, I'm going to I have an alternative. What if he's not here? But yes, it's here. It took us a while, but we got it. It's a very heavy plugin, so it take some time to load. Wow, I don't think it works with FL Studio. Okay, let me just reload it. I think this is. Let me load it back again. I think it was in shell 3 or 4. Was it shell 3 or 4? Okay, I think it should be shell 4. Yes. Ooh, it's not even coming up in FL. Alright, since it's not coming up, let me also go for the alternative, which is also a good plugin, by the way, but I prefer Botch Vig. Be patient for this guy. This is taking surprisingly too long. Alright, it's here. So this is by Slate Digital. So I typically come to vocals and I come to warm vocals. So let's listen to it with the warm vocals and see how it sounds.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know, feed out forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Makes sense, not the ganga.
So what this did was kind of made the vocals brighter and create this character of shininess, like make it sound more refreshing, but at the same time it sounds a little bit too sharp. So I'll use an EQ here to just dent it a little to make it sound a bit round around there. And open the virtual mix rack. Let me just run through it with you guys. This is an EQ, a compressor, also another EQ, and this is also a kind of like a saturator plugin. You can increase the thickness, increase the shine, So I just want to make sure the low end is not being rubbed off. I don't want this plugin to rub off the low end, because it does that quite a lot. So I'll inspect for the low end and make sure there's no cuts in the low end. Alright, there are no cuts in the low end. So let's listen again and see how it sounds.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again.
I think the vocal backups are lagging behind, so I'll boost it some more and see how it sounds now.
I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife. Alone in my town, 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 alone in my town. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well. I go shoot them again. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
So I'm still concerned about the low end in the harmonies. I think we're losing a little bit of low end in the harmony. So let's open the EQ again and take the sweep somewhere around here this time and drop this down here. So that to sound fuller, like if it sounds shiny, I make it sound as if it's too light, and if it sounds a bit dull, I make it sound more like, let's say, more fuller. Let's use that term for now. So let's listen to the harmonies again and see.
Alone in my town, 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 alone in my town. Ever, I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed us.
So let's open the lead vocal. The lead vocal is sounding too harsh. So let's tame it down some more. This is because we added the virtual mix track by Slate Digital. So yeah, you change the characteristic of the vocal. So I don't want it to sound harsh. I want it to sound, and also I don't want it to sound dull, but it should just not sound harsh. So let's listen again and see.
You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play. Oh no, I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
You stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed us for. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well, I go shoot them again.
Now that sounds just fine. Remember we had the same effect on the intro vocal, so we have to go to the intro and make sure it's right. So we'll just copy this, drop it down here some more, and listen to the intro and make sure it's perfect.
Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my shot, but you make it so I can stand well, I go shoot them again. You know feed that forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you know, no, I no go use and play, oh no, no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
Alright, so I think that sounds good overall. I think that sounds good. So let's get that effect that the artist wanted, which is the drop down effect. So let's...
I don't want to lose weight. I don't want to lose.
So I think it would be ideal for the beats instead of the vocal, although the artist might have different thought later on when I send it to him, but I think for the beats will be better.
Make sense, not the ganga.
I don't want to lose weight. I see young.
Make sense, not the ganga.
So we're going to use gross beats. Gross beats is the easiest way to get it done in FL Studio. So get gross beats, right click on preset, turntable list, deck off.
Makes sense.
So to get that done, we'll use automation. Right click, create automation. The reason why I selected this range so the automation clip doesn't spread all through the clip, just has this here and this here, so I can easily control the automation. So just time it here, right click here again to, you have to create a lot of breaking points so that like it's easier to control. I think it's for 4 bars or 8 bars. Sorry, what am I saying? I think it's for 4 beats or 8 beats. So let's see how it sounds.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I don't want to lose weight. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot my. Eloni mata, Eloni mata, Eloni mata. I don't want to lose weight. I see auntie, I dey try shoot.
Alright, so I think the vocals too will need that effect. So let's see if I can copy the gross beat effect plugin. Yes, you can copy the effect plugin. So I think that's the pre-lead vox. Sorry about that. Let's listen again, I'm sure.
I don't want to lose weight.
Okay, it's just this. Okay, it's just this vocal, the weight vocal. Open up the mixer. That is this vocal here. So I'll come to gross beats. That is this guy here, and yeah. So let's see how they sound together.
I don't want to lose. I see auntie at the trash.
All right, so let's just pitch it down and see. Pitch it down.
I don't want to lose. I see auntie at the trash. I don't want to lose. I see auntie. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. I see auntie at the trash. I don't want to lose. I see auntie. I don't want to lose. I see auntie at my down. I don't want to lose. I see auntie at.
So I think to get that perfect, I'll need to chop up this clip a little to get it sounding right. It's almost there, but I don't think it's there yet. So I'll take this out. So I think for the sake of the progression, so I'll pick just a similar point.
I don't want to lose. I see auntie at the try shoot my shot. I don't want to lose. I see auntie at.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So, but the artist may have another idea, but it wouldn't be too far from this. It shouldn't be far from this, but I think that's fine.
I don't want to lose. I see auntie at the try shoot my shot. But you make it so I can stand where I go shoot them again. You know feed us forever. I'll keep on trying until I win your heart. And when I get to your heart, you no, I no go use and play, oh no. I put my head on your shoulders when she is all over. Want to make you my wife.
Make sense, not the ganga.
And of course, time to put my signature tag. And we'll be done. You'll be surprised that I actually lost my own tags. So I have to get my tags from beats that I've made. So I'll just take this out here, take this out here. So let's listen and see.
Make sense, not the ganga. Not the ganga.
Really loud.
Alright, that's fine. Really loud. That's fine. That's good. So yeah, that's pretty much how to get your vocals mixed. So of course, when you maybe come back to check it out tomorrow, it might sound a little bit different to you, but the changes you make wouldn't be far off. And it wouldn't be far off, and this is a great start to any mix, really. So even if you make a change, a change tomorrow or some other time you open the project again, to just be maybe something slight, nothing significant, just a slight change, maybe to add or reduce a little bit of reverb by less than 5 to 10%, or to add or remove a simple vocal. Just, and I'm very sure it won't be anything much if I'm going to change anything here. It just will be really subtle, it will be almost unnoticeable by the average listener. So yeah, so that's pretty much how to get it done, and I hope this helped you in making better mixing decisions. So my process, I didn't hide anything. Everything I showed you, everything here was mixed live. It was not like I didn't cut the video and stop anywhere. It was all done. So you got to see my mistakes, my bloopers, if there are any. I don't know if there are any bloopers. So this is being done live. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sir Classy. Follow me on Instagram, Sir_Classy. That is SIR_Classy. Sir, SIRCLASSI. Sir Classy. And please check the description if you're on YouTube for a link to my courses that will surely help you out. And also, if you're on Udemy watching this, check my instructors page, and there are nice courses that will surely help, especially on FL Studio, mixing, mastering, making beats that will very clean, clear, and precise. I don't beat around the bush. I go straight to the point. And also, I upload videos every day on YouTube. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Support by subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, like, comment, share. Let your friends know about me, and I'll keep doing videos like this. I remain Sir Classy. Cheers.